Hello and welcome to my channel. So you might be wondering why I'm doing a voiceover right now. And it is because my boyfriend is still working from home because the school is still locked down and he has a very important exam real soon. So I had to be a little creative, which I luckily is pretty good at. So here I am making these weird movements to make the video more interesting. Is it working? Yes? No? Anyway, this video is all about me creating a cover for my new iPad. I have entered so many giveaways trying to win an iPad, but since I never won through 1.5 years, I decided to use some of my own hard-working money. I have already tried this out and I love it so far, but since this thing is so freaking expensive compared to my paycheck, I want to protect it as much as possible. But since I'm not into plain designs, I thought it could be fun to create it myself, just like 100 other artists. Moving on, I have 3 covers to decorate, and it will most likely take me all day to finish, so please give this video a like. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so I knew I wanted to create something with water and a pretty sunset. So I tried to mix a pretty turquoise color, but I clearly had no experience how to blend such a color, and I ended up with this grayish purple instead, and decided to start over. Why is getting paint out of tubes so satisfying to watch? Is it just me? Anyway, this time I used mostly blue and white and decided to accept that this was the best I could do with my very low color blending experience. Okay, now that I have some colors, I can finally start painting. I tend to have really high expectations of myself, and since it's a really long time I used paint, my idea for this cover was way too complex, but I think I did okay anyway. I tried to use the purple paint I made for the sky so it wouldn't go to waste, but I didn't like it, so I tried to use some black paint to see if that would help, but it didn't. So here I am trying to scrape off my mistake. Attempt number 3. This time I used a dark blue and the same blue paint as the water with some white paint added. Next I had to paint the effect of the sunset, and for that I needed some yellow and some red. It really was a big surprise to me how color blending with paints can be so difficult. Or maybe I'm just getting too used to the digital color wheel. While this cover is set aside to dry, we can now move on to the next, which is this black one with both back and front cover and the ability to fold so it can stand up and I can watch a video without holding it. How smart. I was a bit unsure what to do with this cover, but I decided to go with some white flowers. But as I mentioned before, I'm not too great with too plain designs. So I had to add something a little bit more wild, and therefore I decided to make this rainbow as well. Do I regret this decision? A little, but only because this rainbow took so much time to do and the yellow needed so many layers. I also had some troubles trying to get a nice colorful purple, but by adding some more red, I think I finally managed to get a purple I like. Then I added some more flowers and layers to the rainbow, and then it was time to switch again to continue on this not so see-through cover anymore. I've always been fascinated by the illustrations where you can see both under the water and over the water. So for this creation I decided I would make this rock or something, where my main character Rose is sitting together with a giant hamster. Why I chose to do a giant hamster will make sense when you see my creative journey number 10, so look forward to that. Then I did some clouds for the sunset sky because clouds are for me the most fun part to do. No straight lines, just a lot of random yet not too random blobs. And then a little cute sun saying goodbye for the night. It was now time to let it dry and start making the other half of the rainbow on the black cover. But since I do not want to bore you to death, I decided to make this step of this process very short. You're welcome. Even though there is still something satisfying watching someone creating something in real time, occasionally I catch myself getting lost in my own processed videos, and I have totally forgot that I'm supposed to edit this video. Okay, back to my very optimistic cover creation. Now it was time to work on the giant hamster I talked about, and it was not a coincidence I made it wide. I will not say any more about this hamster, but at this point it is already very clear to you guys what is going on. In the water I painted two giant red fish. Or maybe they are normal size, but we are just watching from a very close point of view, just like if we were right next to them. You decide. Then I did my character's hair, which is a mix of blonde and pink, coral-ish. Then I made the dress, sort of. I've always found it hard to make small details with a brush, and if you're wondering what the gray blobs are, it's the hamster's cute small paws. I mean, look at them, so cute. And then it was time to give the fish some huge eyes, because I like cute stuff, okay? And we must not forget the white reflection in the water. Let that dry again. Afterwards, I realized I had painted the rainbow upside down. So I had to choose 1, live with this mistake, or 2, find a way to make it pretty anyway. I decided to go with number 2 and drew some clouds because I thought it would then somehow make more sense, and I liked the look of it. Moving on to more white layers, this pearl white was very pretty, but also very transparent, and I did not want that for my flowers. As I mentioned, I did not feel I could make all the details that I wanted for this painting with a brush. So I went in with a black fine liner instead, and I really think this did something great for the piece. Also, both the hamster and the fish didn't have any pupils, which was kind of scary to look at. The only problem with the fine liner was that the matte varnish I put on the top to protect it smushed it out, so I had to be extra gentle around the fine liner's area to not make a mess. As the very last touch-up, I gave my pearl white flowers some yellow dots to make them look even more like flowers. Oh, and then I added some white dots because apparently dots can make everything look just a little bit more fancy. And then after several hours, 2 covers were now complete. I sadly didn't have the motivation to make number 3. My brain was just roasted and I really needed a break. I love these covers because they kind of reflect my inner fantasy world where everything is fun, cute, and colorful. These cover creations did make me feel frustrated, like a lot, because it has been such a long time since I last used paint. Oh, side note, my boyfriend also noticed that my cover, totally random, have this shape of a face. I mean, how hilarious is that? Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. It gives me motivation to keep making videos and stay creative. Now I will enjoy drawing on my new iPad with a cup of tea. I'm currently working on a design with cute foods. Here's a little brush experiment I did on the iPad. A sub and a like is always appreciated, and otherwise I just hope to see you in my next video.